you was around last Tuesday, please, Mr. Hall?
In Sam's snooker club, all right?
While you was there, did you not meet with Harold Bristow and Charles Henry Rayner?
Look, I keep telling you, I was there. And I was with Harold Bristow and Charlie Rayner. I didn't even bloody know them.
Welcome back. I've decided it's time for another video on the dark side of Operation Hummingbird. If you haven't seen it already, please watch my first video, the story of Operation Hummingbird, because that covers some of the ground we're going to look at here. I've linked it below in the description. I touched on the issue there of the diary and the infamous green note. I want to go back to something Detective Inspector Rob Woods said about the diary. His description of that diary is that it contained a system of coloured asterisks. Now here's the page that's been released to the public. So my question for D.I. Woods is, where is the system of coloured asterisks on this diary? There are asterisks in the same colour as the rest of the text, and there are two colours of text, and there are initials of the babies, but there's no system of coloured asterisks. So what I say has happened there, Detective Inspector Woods, is that you appear to have developed a false memory of what you've actually seen. False memory is something that affects all of us. If I was Nicholas Johnson, I'd claim that you were lying, but I'm more generous than that, and I can see that there are innocent explanations for these things. But what I'd expect is once you realise it, you'd correct the error, rather than put this story of Operation Hummingbird video out to the public, maintaining your false belief about what happened. And it really concerns me the extent to which things like this infected the police investigation. Were they pursuing lines of inquiry properly? Were they working on theories based on these false beliefs that they held? It just really isn't good enough. Now the other thing I want to go back to is this green note. Something I don't think's been made enough of is it clearly says in media reporting that this note was found inside the diary, and that is extremely significant because this note says police investigation. We know that note was written after a police investigation started. We also know that the diary is written in two different colours. There are entries that Lucy probably wrote in 2016 about events that she thought were important in 2016. And then there are these significant dates about the babies written in a different colour, along with their initials. And there's this note which was written after the police investigation started, found inside the diary. So it's not really rocket science, is it, to see what's happened there. The entries about the babies have also been written after the police investigation started. I mean, what are the police doing here? What were they thinking? They accused this woman of this outrageous allegation of harming babies.
I did a poo in the pool, and I touched him.
They have these specific incidents in mind, these specific babies that she's supposed to have harmed in 2016. So she goes back to the pages in this 2016 diary, notes the date from records that these things happened, and then they come along and say, aha, you've started writing the dates about these babies and this note about harming them. Where did you get that from?
Cheers. I gotcha.
Where did you get these dates in 2016 from, and where did you get these initials from? It's a complete mystery. Okay, so it says slander, discrimination, victimisation above the bit about harming them on purpose, but we'll just conveniently ignore that part.
Somehow we've lost the last 4 days.
Okay, aliens came aboard.
Without question.
They broke my leg.
For some reason.
They broke my leg?
Right.
And then they did a jigsaw.
Right.
Secondly, I'm also going to talk a bit more about Paul Hughes. Now, I've been resisting the urge to call him thick. I'm aware that he comes across that way, and he might come across that way potentially for unfair or discriminatory reasons, perhaps related to his accent, but it's not about that. The choices are that he's either thick or dishonest, so for the purposes of this video, we'll stick with the kind of conclusion that he's thick. And the reason I say this is because of this article in the Evening Standard from the 20th of August 2023, 2 days after the verdict. He told the Evening Standard, "Lucy Letby was expecting us one day. It was surprising. She'd never been involved with the police before in her life. There seemed to be an acceptance on Lucy's behalf that the cops would be arriving at her door one day." So as we've just seen, she knew there was a police investigation before they arrested her. So Paul Hughes is thick or dishonest. He's thick or he's been dishonest to the Evening Standard. Those are your choices. Because he would know that she already knew there was a police investigation into her when they arrested her. So if you don't accept you're thick, Paul Hughes, why are you misleading the public like that? In this Wales Online article, he also goes on to give more incorrect information where he speculates that she wanted notoriety and therefore wrote this confession in order to leave it for the police to find. And he admits there that she knew the police were investigating. And he says that she knew at some point we would be speaking to her, so he speculates that she might have intentionally written a confession down to be found. Did she want it to be found? Did she want the notoriety that she's got? Well, no, thicko, she didn't, did she? We can see that now. She's protested her innocence throughout. So your entire theory is wrong, but you'll never ever back down and admit it and go back and say, look, something's gone terribly wrong here. If you did, I would have a bit of respect for you.
Okay, Professor, what does it mean?
Maybe, okay. Breaking your leg hurts like hell, okay? Hell. They do it below the knee, low, hello. Get it?
Well, I think that's the end of this video. Once again, thanks very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't enjoyed it, give it a thumbs down. And either way, please subscribe. There'll be another video from me in due course on the issue that's arisen recently, where the brilliantly clever Cheshire Police were making payments to Caroline Cheatham's podcasting company. See you then.
What have you done this time, boy?
We caught your force generating misleading evidence. And frankly, we think it's terribly unfair that Miss Letby has to stay in prison as a result of that.
Yeah, it's a crummy system, but what are you going to do?